there any questions, please? Yes, down here. Come on.
Eric, you mentioned the idea of going out and getting open access content where it's available.
Yay!
Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, some of the sites that we're interested in do sometimes put restrictions. Despite the fact that it's open access, they don't like you all sort of hitting them all at once. There are still issues around how you harvest and when you harvest, and I guess in the context of everyone doing it for their libraries, if we were all sort of leave this room now, go out and tell our sysadmin people, go get, there would be issues, wouldn't there, for some of these sites being hit hard in terms of the harvest, or are they working on technology to
I think the question was, we advocate bringing something like open access content into our collections, into our catalog, into our index, but there are some technological difficulties. They don't like you harvesting all the stuff all at once. How do I get around this? Or I kind of heard a subtext, do we all have to index that sort of stuff? And the answer, my address to that is, those sorts of things are not impediments to not doing it. They're just challenges. And I would advocate using and abiding by their wishes and not hitting it full force all the time. I think that sort of stuff you can get around. You could also use technologies that actually, what I really advocate is that you cache their content. Keep lots of copies, keep stuff safe. And this is a form of preservation. You can copy their content locally, then on a regular basis you can only go get the new stuff and add it to your collection, and then you can incorporate it into your index. So that's one way to get around that problem. Another, I heard a subtext, and I don't know if it's true or not, but wait a minute, why should I collect it, and he collect it, and she collect it, and everyone else collect it? We should just let it all together. No, I don't advocate that, because he might create a pile of stuff, and your stuff just might not be apropos to my audience. And if I don't have the stuff, if you don't own it, it's very difficult to provide indexing services against it. If you don't own it, you end up with these little silos that are going around. And that's not where we want to go. That's all.
Yes, probably have to be the last question. I'm sorry about that.
I spoke that long?
Michael McClellan from Monash University. So if we don't buy Primo or Endeca or Aqua Browser, which a lot of people in this room are in the process of doing or they're thinking about, what do we buy? Or how do we do this?
Okay, that's a good question. If we don't buy this, that, or the other thing, how do we go about doing this? I don't have the definitive answer. I just have an answer that I think is apropos to our profession. I advocate, just like I advocate open source or open access publishing, I also advocate open source software, because it really does empower your institution. It really enables you to do more things and be more flexible. If in a vended environment, that vendor is going to have to create a product that meets a broad range of people. They're not going to create specific little things just for your institution. There has to be enough of a desire for that particular feature to warrant that they're going to spend the time and energy doing that. And while we have more similarities than we have differences, you might want to put into effect some sort of things that the vendor doesn't provide. Open source software is going to provide you with those sorts of capabilities. Now it is going also, though, open source software is going to be an additional responsibility. And it requires an additional set of skills to be added to your library. But once you have those sets of skills, and it does not take an army of people to do this. Viewfind was written by one guy. And look at the kind of effect that person has had all the way on the other side of the world. that is extraordinarily powerful. So I suggest a couple things. I would suggest increasing your computer skills. I would suggest maybe creating consortiums amongst yourself that you already probably have, and you might share computing skills across those organizations to implement the sorts of solutions that I've outlined. Clear as mud.
Eric, it was very clear. And look, we have a gift for you to thank you for being our guest today. Thank you.
Super.
Thank you very much, Eric.
Thank you very much, sir.
Great. Thank you. And I hope that you'll get an opportunity over lunch also to catch up with Eric and ask him some more questions that we didn't have time for now.